Hey, Hugo. Nice to see you again. Virtually, but great anyway. How are you doing?
How are you doing, brother?
I'm fine. I really appreciate this opportunity to talk to you
Hey,
and talk to the people, to your public, and just give some experience answering some great questions, talking about this life as athlete that I had before. And even now, I have great things to tell to the people. So it's going to be really great.
it's gonna be with you. It's always awesome. So
I can tell you the same, man. I wish I could go more time to see you, to spend some more time together with the kids jumping around. I know you have great facilities. You have a really nice space for high jump training. And I just love that, because when I was starting high jumping, it was like a dream to jumping in my backyard, jumping, in my house. I don't need to go to the track. I can jump here. That's really great.
yeah, we have fun. We have fun for sure, brother. That is great. So tell me, how's everything going in Brazil? I mean, with Corona, are you guys?
Oh, that's really crazy. I can tell you that, we are Corona is one problem, and we have a lot of more problems going on. And we have a political crisis right now, as you can see in the news, because Brazil is a hot spot for coronavirus. And you can see also that the politicians is always fighting with each other. So we cannot see what's more important right now because people need help. It's a really complicated time, economic complicated too, and it's a many political problems we have now for sure. Just watch the news. I really we don't have to go to details about the politics because the news tells everything.
Yeah, I have been reading a little bit, and it's it's different side of the world, different problems. I mean, we have our problems here too, but I understand because uh, Peru also, I heard that they are supposed to be, there is a curfew and there is people shouldn't be going to the street, but people are still going out. So,
Yeah,
I mean, things happen, you know. There is
but
called the gripezinha in Brazil.
yeah, but I have a curiosity about me because sometimes people ask me, "Okay, how are you doing with this quarantine stuff? You need to stay at home like everyone else. How do you deal with it?" So I used to say it's not too much different for me. It's my case. That's why I said it's a curiosity because I have been dedicating my time to too much to study, improve my skill as an Android developer. And I've been working normally because I can work remotely. Thank you, God, that I have this opportunity to keep working normally right now. And I keep learning all the time. So I keep studying all the time. So at the weekends, I can tell you that I have more time to study. So I don't go out, but usually weekdays, work days, I don't used to go out.
Right.
Just a few times. Weekends, okay, a few times, right? But that's the difference from riding in my bike. But I spend more time at home, studying and improving my skills as my professional skills because now I'm that IT guy.
That's right.
When the app crash, okay, that might be my fault or not.
If the network goes down, it's just Edgy's fault. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
funny.
But my skills
Well,
now are focused on mobile.
nice, nice. Well, we want to talk about that. We want to talk about how's the life of just Edgy now compared with high jump. Well, we'll get to that. Um, let's see. How you know what people were asking? They want to know about you. About your life. How did you start it? I mean, you are the national record holder for Brazil, 232, which is 77 and a quarter. Um, I met you basically at the time that you're still jumping. We're friends. But a lot of people they don't know that side from you. Since now you are the IT guy. Okay, so
Yes.
so tell us a little bit about you. How did you start it? I mean, where do you came from? How did you start it?
Yeah, that's
High
a
jump.
great question
How do you
because
start high jump?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a big journey. I can tell you that this journey have improved myself as person a lot. The very beginning was in the school. My physical education teacher, he used to get some guys to practice athletics. It was a public school. The conditions were really bad. It was not here in São Paulo. I'm not from here. I'm from Recife in the northeast of Brazil. And the condition was really bad in that school. I remember that very well. We barely have some seats in the classes, and sometimes we had to do some kind of relay, like, okay, today you will not have a class because there's not much chairs. So that was the problem we had in that school. And this coach, Célio Roberto is his name, he was getting this guy from physical education classes. Okay, guys, let's do some athletics. So you don't need to come to the physical education class. So you are free. You just need to train twice a week. It is enough. So it was my first contact, but I really have to say it's a very important point that my brother, he was already training in athletics. So he was a reference for me because, okay, he's training and he got, how do I say that? It's a scholarship in a great school in the city I born. And it was a really great school. They had a great athletics team. So I thought, okay, that seems to be really good because, okay, he's studying a great school. Okay, let's think about this athletics. So I started to practice athletics. Just, I didn't know what event I would do, just running, make some running exercise, technical exercise, some really basic stuff. And I started to get into some competitions.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that the first competition I went was a 60-meter hurdles. And I didn't pass to the third hurdle because I just hit it.
No.
And I just fall into the yeah. I just fell into the ground, and my knee was just like blowing. But yeah. But it was the first competition. The second was better. And the first contact I had with high jumping and that moment was the coach told me, okay, do you see that guys from combined events jumping there? You are going to do that. You're going to do that later, individual event. Okay, but I don't know. I have no idea how to do that. It was high jumping. I had no training How would I do that? No, okay, you look at the guys jumping and try to do the same. That's all. So, okay, let's try. Yeah, that was the deal. You just look the guys jumping in the event and try to do the same. And I had no shoes.
That simplicity. Nice.
Yeah, and I was jumping with no shoes. I had no shoes that time for jumping. I just went there and jumping with no shoes and trying to do the same. And I was fourth place. Fourth place the competition. Yeah, and my coach said, "Oh God, that's really great. That's your event. You're gonna come here and train with another coach to learn how to make a flop, the flop jump." And I took about 2 weeks to learn flop.
Oh, wow.
It was quick. It was really quickly I learned that. And in 2 weeks, and then the third week I had another competition, and in that competition I won, and I almost broke the record of competition.
Oh, wow.
And that competition was my passport to change my school, to go to a better school.
Okay. And
that time I started training with another coach. I started training a real track because I was training in a sand. It was a sand track, a really small, really small. Yeah. So that was when I started really training, make some small weightlifting, make more technical exercise. And it was 15.
Yeah.
15, yes. 14, I began.
Okay.
In 15 was when I start training, I can say, in a track with a better facilities,
right,
with a coach, dedicated coach about to training stuff, It was more kind of complete training. And in the after year, I won the national championship. No, I was second place in the national school championship.
Okay.
It was just like, I was just rubbing up, just improving, jumping more and even more.
Okay, great. Now tell me, what's your progression? At 14 years old, how high do you jump? At 15 years old, how high do you jump? What was your progression?
Oh, yeah. The first competition was 1 meter, 36 centimeters. I don't know. American used a different way to measure jumping.
Right.
It was really low. The second competition that I won was 150, 59. Mm-hmm. And then the after year, I really had a big improvement. I jumped.
First 14 years old.
Yes.
And then 15 years old, how high?
189.
189.
Yes, 189. What it was just a big jump.
And then 16 years old?
16 was 190 something. I do not remember exactly.
Oh, I know, because it to me too. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I don't. Stuff that I used to remember, I don't know how high did I jump. Maybe plus or minus, I know. But, I know.
Yeah, but I remember 17 years. It was 206.
Okay.
And then with 18 years, it was a really big improvement because I got stuck for many time in 206. Then I just went to 223.
At 18?
18 years, yes.
223. That is 73 and 3/4 or something like that. 73 and a half, 73 and 3/4. Yeah, perfect.
Okay, I have no idea in American measure. Yeah. So, that year, it was, I had 18 years, it was 1990. I believe, yeah. And I won the Pan American Championship. It was in Tampa, Florida.
Junior,
I
right,
remember
right.
that era. Yes, I was junior,
Yeah,
18 years, and I jumped 221 in that competition.
awesome.
Yeah, it was. It was a really, I just started to won many competitions and jumping more and more. But the curious thing is that when I was 17,
Hmm.
my coach wanted to me to do triple jump
Okay, triple, yeah.
also, and also high jumping. And I said, okay, no, I believe that if we dedicate more time for just one event,
Hmm.
we can improve a lot more. So we start to have this conversation, and we decided that, okay, you go only for high jumping. And when we did that, my results just start to improve a lot because I was training just for one event.
Okay. So as soon as you only concentrated on the high jumps, things started taking off.
Yes, yes, so much better because I could train more, I could make more technical exercise, I had more time for technical jumping. My weightlifting was specific for high jumpers, so I started to get more comfortable with high jumping too. So it was just like the consequence of the training,
Right,
my PB was just growing, growing, and improving.
right, right. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
taking the time to be able to put things together, in one event, it helps a lot. Your brain automatically starts picking up things a lot easier. Um, that's great, man. That's awesome. Let me see. This is an interesting question. Brazil always had great jumpers, okay? And every single there is a characteristic for the Brazilian jumpers. Is that long pendulum, the free
yeah.
it's a characteristic. I remember because I remember when I jumped, there was a guy, Milton Ritiano, then Arcanjo, okay,
Mm-hmm.
Alcides Oliveira, then
Mm-hmm.
Joao, gosh, Joao. I don't remember his last name. He was a triple jumper, and then he also did the high jump. Really talented guys, all of them. And I jumped with all of them. And every time that I saw a Brazilian jumper, had that very characteristic long pendulum. Explain me, is that something that you guys? That's the way you guys teach the event? Because I saw that on all of them. Now I think that there are some now the new ones. I have seen a couple of kids right now that they don't do that anymore. Uh,
Yeah, I can tell you that. First, let's think about my case because when I was starting to jumping, I can tell that I didn't have that information about how exactly I would do that movement or training. And also, I knew that the guys were doing different about the way I were doing. But I saw that, okay, but I can jump, yeah, I can do great jumping this way. And every time I try to change, things start to get a mess. So and it's also about how you start training, how you develop your skills in the very beginning.
mhm.
Because if you start to training wrong movements in the beginning, to change that later, it's gonna be harder.
Okay.
It's just it's like a law. It's some people used to say it's easier to learn than change the wrong movement you have been doing for so long time.
Listo.
And that's a reality, and I felt that because I was jumping great. So it's like, okay, we don't have to change right now. Keep doing what you're doing because you are jumping great. So I was just repeating that and kind of specializing me in that mistake.
Right.
But
Well,
it's also it's also some kind of relative because when you have the long leg, you, if you do it faster, if you do it really fast, in the end of the movement, the momentum you get back tends to be greater.
Yes,
So it's not really wrong.
it is not wrong.
Yeah, I start to realize that when I was kind of 17, 18 years old, because okay, am I doing really wrong? I'm doing different, but is it really wrong? And I started to realize that I was developing that way to use my leg that was really helping me. Okay, it's long. I tend to use more strength to bring my leg up.
Right,
But if I can do it faster, it's gonna help me.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what.
you found a way. You and pretty much all the old school Brazilian jumpers found a way to make it work really well for you. Okay,
Yes, that's the point.
right. But it's like it's got for it will be to me. It's how can I tell you that what you did was wrong? You jumped to 32. I mean,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I mean,
That's it.
I mean,
That's it. Yeah, yeah.
hey, you know what? You did bad. Okay, well, you don't jump to 32.
Yes, yes.
No,
You,
that,
you know,
we understand the perfect technique only by computer. Sure, I think that everybody, world class high jumpers, just people, the kids that are starting, everybody, even Javier Sotomayor, he had things that probably he was working on to try to details to make himself better. You know what? He broke the world record. I mean,
yes, yes.
so I think that you had most of the old school guys that I met, they had a very unique way that definitely to be able to do that long pendulum, it was definitely not conducted to speed because at the moment that
Mhm.
for what I have seen, most people that have that long pendulum at the moment that they try to put that too much speed, there is way too much. Not only the force at the takeoff, but that swing puts even a lot more force in the ground, and it's going to be very hard for
Yes,
them to get a return. So the speed, the vertical speed will suffer. While
yes, yes,
you
exactly.
had more rhythm, keeping a body position, you kept rhythm and body position, and basically just came with a speed that you were able to control for you, and then from
Hmm.
there, bam, and there you went. You went vertical.
Yeah, and I have a great example about this situation. Remember the year it was 2000, 2000, no, 2006. It was. It was the first year, the first year that I jumped to 30. But before jump to 30, I remember that I was just leaving the preparation time, and I was really strong, and I felt that I was fast. My speed were great, Okay, I would jump really great this year. But when I was trying to do the takeoff, it was a chaos because I was in a way too fast. I couldn't control my movement, and I remember that I was talking to my coach all the time. Okay, I cannot control what's going on. I feel that I'm really stronger. I'm faster. Why I cannot jump? So we start to realize that okay, oh, you are really strong. You train it very well, and you are really faster. But let's try to do something different. Let's let's think about something that you do not imagine you will do. Let's decrease your speed. Let's come slower. So you're gonna run uh, very slower than you are doing right now. So we start if it's too slower, we start to increase, just a bit, increase a bit, until we find the greater speed that you can control your takeoff in a better way. So your jump will be better. So it was just, when I decreased the speed, my jump just blew. Yeah, and that time, the next competition, it was 2 weeks later, I jumped to 28. It was my PB. Just controlling my speed. That's when we start to understand how high jump is complex, how it's important to you to understand each individual, each characteristic. Anyone have a way to jump, and okay, we have that pattern, that the default technique, as we know, but you cannot apply it to everyone the same way. You need to understand each athlete. Okay, how is the athlete? How he jump? How is how he or she executes the movement? You need to find the weak spots and the strongest one too, because you need to know how to deal with them. And that time it was just a very basic thing: just run slower, my jump will be greater. And it was really better, because that year I jumped to 30 for the first time.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Uh, so let's see. Okay, you might have already answered this question, but every jumper has something that they do very well. In your opinion, what is the best thing you believe you have? Technically.
In jumping,
Technically, or or some people can say, you know what, I had I was very strong. So what is the key for you? Because we all had something that we did really well. What are something that you believe that you did very well, better than everyone else?
well, that's a really good question. But I think that I can say about what the Brazilian athlete used to tell about me. That was my twist rotation over the bar, because some people used to say, okay, the way you really, I made the position over the bar were really great, because technically I was not really proud about the way I used to run. And also my last two steps, I know that I have some not good position with my right leg before, the takeoff. It was too low, my hip used to be too low, and I have had really difficult to push this leg. So I believe that it was the way I crossed the bar. It was great. I liked that, and I felt great. And I saw the other athletes telling me the same, that okay, you do that great. So it's one point. I'm not really sure about this answer. It's kind of complicated. Yeah, it's a complicated question.
It is. No, but you're right. I think that you worked out, you worked over the bar. Your clearance was very good. You had very good body awareness. I remember that. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty good. Hey, you know what? Who who was the most influential person in your life? You can
Well,
name one person.
you have some really great questions, because I can tell that the answer used to change through time, because uh, when I was high jumping, okay, everybody think about the world record holder. Everybody thinks about Javier Sotomayor, Patrick Schoberg, think about staff at home. You know, this guy that had some, you can see some technical reference. You know, it's like they guide you somehow because the way they jump, the results they do. But I really start to change my way to think about it, that the people that could inspire me more were is not exactly athletes, you know. I start to have many people, I start to see what the greatest people around us have made. It's like you think about Ayrton Senna. It's one guy that from F1 race. How is his history? How he have made that journey to that results he has? So I remember that when I saw his history, he had a really great mind control, mind training. So I don't have one person specific that okay, this guy leads my inspiration, because I start to find out that there are too much great people around, and each of them can bring me some experience that start to be a reference for me. So I really I can tell you that when I was starting jumping, I had Sotomayor and some other jumpers, but as I was growing up, it was changing for me.
Right, right. No, and you are 100% right. In different parts of my career, I had somebody at some point that always was there for me. So you are 100% right. I mean, it changes because at the
Yeah, yeah,
before jumping, there is somebody. At the moment of jumping, even now, is somebody completely different.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. So it's about the experience you have in your life, the way you see people, what people do. And I also believe that in the modeling, you start to see, okay, these great people, what this person did to reach the place the people are right now. Why this people is so great? So this person has a journey behind. It's a big journey. So when you start to realize the steps these people took to get to where they are, you can learn many things in this journey. And that's one of the points that if you ask me, what's the most important thing about to go to Olympics? I can tell you that in my experience right now, I can tell you that the most important to go to Olympics is not to go to Olympics. Okay, what are you talking about? I don't understand. Go, go to Olympics, great? No, because the most important thing about go to Olympics is the journey you had made to get there.
Right.
Because in this journey to get there, you're going to improve yourself a lot.
Right.
You're going to have a lot of experience. You're going to have a lot of challenges in your life. So you will be a so much better person when you get there. Or even if you don't, if you get close, okay, I almost went to Olympic. It doesn't matter. But you try the journey, and this journey is the most important because it's going to change you forever.
Right. And you are 100% right. That was pretty cool. That was very well explained, brother. Awesome. Thank you. Hey, tell us a little bit about your training. I mean, when you were back in the day, when you were training, uh, and I understand some things you might remember, some things you don't, but give us a little example, for example, by the week in your preseason. What do you used to do from Monday through Sunday, and then during the competition season? So what did you do leading to a competition, for example, on Saturday? Two examples: a typical week of pre-season, and then a typical week of in-season with competition on Saturday. If you remember.
Oh, yeah, I remember things that I can tell you. But one point that I believe is the most important. Do you hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah. A little bit, yeah. We're doing.
Yeah. I believe the most important thing about it is the mind training. You know, it's about how you prepare your mind for the competition, and also about how I train my mind technically. I start when I was 17 years. I start to realize that more I trained my mind, better used to be the competition. And this training, it was not only about to have more concentration, but also about create the jump in my mind into situation. Just seeing the jump like myself, when I was like I'm jumping, I can see. I started training myself to create this situation in my mind, and I also could see my jumping as a third person, just like you watching me jumping. This training it was a really important point because I could also like go move back and forward in my jumping in my mind. And the more I did that, it was, the competition start to be more easy. To do my jump start to be more easy. And every time when I was in the pre-competition week, I used to do it more to train more my mind for the competition to have more control about the movement I had to do. And if you talk about the training itself, I don't like much. I didn't like much training hard make technical training too close to the competition. Uh, I tried that many times, make some exercises, but it wasn't good. The when I remember that my coach found out that the best jumping happened when I was like 2 days doing almost nothing. You know, just some warming up, some stretching, some really basic stuff, and it made me felt much better. And if I mean about the pre-week competition, a few days before the competition, it had made me feel so much better.
Right. No, and that makes sense. For most, it's very common with guys. I used to react the same way. In my case, I used to rest, and the more I rested, the faster I got, the more explosive I got. And 2 days
Yeah.
before the competition, it was great for me. Some people like to lift before the competition.
Yes, one day before.
You used to lift 1 day before.
No, no, some people
Yeah,
do,
yeah. Some people lift 1 day.
but that doesn't work for me.
Yeah, well, for me, it didn't work either. To be honest with you, I mean, don't so that, but I agree with you. I remember when we were in Europe with Daniela this last year. We were in the hotel, and there was a high jumper from Malaysia, and then Costas from Greece. He Vaniotis, yeah, Costas Vaniotis, and he was asking for weights. He said, "I need some weights. Can you provide me some, maybe like 100 kilos or something, to basically just I need to do some weights so tomorrow I can compete better." I don't think that weights at that meet. But yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, I tried. I confess that I tried,
Here
but
we
it
go.
didn't work. Yeah, no, it didn't. The result was a crap.
Hey man, it's part of it's a trial and error. I mean, you have to find out what works
Yeah,
for you. You know, and
yeah, exactly.
yeah, yeah. You know what? I got a question for you. As far as your numbers in the weight room, how? I mean, do you remember your tests numbers? Do you used to test when you were training? For example, how far did you do in a half a squat? I mean, so what was the
Oh, it was 190 kilos.
192 kilos in half a squat?
90, 90, 90,
Okay,
90,
190. Okay,
190.
but it was
Yes, yes.
all the way down, or half?
No. It was almost a half. It was not. I don't believe it was a half, but it was the most heavy weight that I got because when I started training with when I changed the coach, he didn't like it much to do a half squat because the speed of the execution was too low,
Uh-huh.
and the way he used to training the athletes was more explosive. So he started to took weight away and just decrease it. Okay, I want you to execute more explosive.
Hmm.
So I didn't need it to go over 190 again because I was always doing with less weight and more explosive. And I was even decreasing the angle. I was doing like not a half squat. It was 130. 130 just it's just a really small knee flexion that you do
Right.
because you can be more explosive, uh, a lot of explosive because you will train more the muscle fibers that is related with speed contraction.
Okay.
And I felt really great when my training changed to that because I that was when I started to feel that I had more power to hit the ground with quality. And you can feel that as a jumper. You can feel that when you hit the ground and you just make that contraction, you can overreact it. You don't feel your body just get soft and lose power. You just reacted to that and you just release the ground very fast. So when my training was decreasing the weight and training with more speed, I just felt so much better.
Huh.
And I didn't do anymore any kind of maximum power to test how much I could take in half squats.
Hmm.
I didn't do that anymore. It was like was young. I just stopped at that. My coach, okay, you don't need to do that. You do more. You training more speed, more speed. I want you to be to be faster,
Hmm.
to hit the ground with power. Just react. I need more quality.
Okay. So there was no more testing. I think that you used to train with Takahashi, right?
Yes,
That was before.
exactly. Yeah, and 2 weeks ago he did live alive in the Instagram,
Right.
in Zoom exactly to correct it, about training, and he put some pictures and videos talking about me when I was training many years ago, and it was one of the things he said. Okay, I don't do maximum tests because I focus on quality of the execution. We have to keep the quality in our exercise. So you start to improve the weights, but we have to keep the quality. If you start to wait, and you start to lose the quality of the execution, the result will not be great.
Yeah, and that sounds smart, by the way. It's kind of like the same way that I train Danny here. So yeah, he's a smart guy, by the way. I took a look at his work and super bright,
Yeah,
super bright.
yeah, he studied a lot all the time, and I believe that let's talk about that relation about coach and athlete.
Yeah.
That when you have a coach, that you have this bidirectional flow of information about training, because many athletes, I used to see that they just get the training, they do the training, and that's all. They don't start to think about why they are doing that way, how can I do better, try to understand about the training itself and how they can improve the execution of that training, and also how they can provide a better feedback about the things they are doing in the training. Because this is very important for the coach, because the coach can, okay, I can make some change, small change here because it's not so great, because I had that feedback about the training, I'm providing to the athlete. And our relation was really about feedback full time. We was always talking about the exercise, if you could do the exercise in some other way. We create new exercise. It was all the time using camera, recording the jumps and reanalyzing, making video analysis in the jumping. So it was a really important point about the technical stuff.
Well, yeah, I heard his training model is very efficient, is very clean, and I see it on the results of the athletes. Not only with you, but there is a Guilherme, I think, uh,
Guilherme, Thales.
Guilherme Tales, yes. And then,
Thales jumped at 230.
yes, yes, Guilherme and Tales. They I see the training philosophy, and I see that explosive is very functional, which is very important for us. You're looking at
Yeah.
very elastic athlete, which is going to result in us being able to react right on at the moment of takeoff, and at the moment no takeoff, but when we move. We have to be functional. Being weight room strong, that's not high jump. It's just you probably want to be using weights for as a part of the training, but it's not actually the
Mhm.
vast majority of our training. We actually spend a lot more time
Yeah.
in the track doing drills, working on movement, balance. In the weights is actually like, I mean,
Just a small part. Yes. Yeah.
important. Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. So, Jesse, that's all good stuff, man. First and foremost, I'm very happy to have you in the show. We we
Yeah. That.
we talk from time to time, kind of like to sort of uh, uh, finish a little bit. If I go, let's imagine for the people that wants to go and visit Brazil, what would you recommend us? I mean, where do we go? Tell me about Brazil. Tell me about the food. Tell me about the carnaval. I mean, tell me something.
Yeah. Brazil is a great mix of culture, because we have people from all over the world here. It's a historical thing. There's people from all over the place. So there are many things to do here. It's a really huge country, because it depends what kind of things you want to do. You said about carnival. If you want to go to the best carnival, you should go to the northeast. You can go to the city I born in, Recife, or there's another city. It's called Olinda. It's a really great street carnival. It's really, really great. I believe it's one of the best in Brazil. There's also in Salvador, it's a really great carnival. São Paulo is growing a bit now with a street carnival. So, but if you want to go to the, really great beaches, you go to the Northeast too, because it's really hot throughout the year. You have Porto de Galinhas. It's a really great place to go. It's a nice beach. It's a, kind of paradise view. There's many things to do here. It depends what kind of place you like. If you wanna go to some places with more nature, you can go to Amazon. You can, man, it's so many places.
Brazil is beautiful,
It's
by the way. I have
yeah, yeah.
many. I competed in Manaus. I competed in Rio de Janeiro. I have never competed. I competed in Rio de Janeiro a couple of times, and in Manaus I competed a couple of times too. But I have never competed in Sao Paulo. But I loved it. I mean, I love Brazil. It was great. I mean, every time that I went to Brazil, the people was great. The country has so much to offer. The beach. It was very nice. And you know what? The food, man. The food was great.
Yeah, but in the north of Brazil, it's not because I'm from the north exactly, but I really like the food from the north of Brazil. It's really different taste. People used to say it's stronger taste, but I really like. I really
So
like. And
what kind of food would you recommend me? I mean, what if I go to Brazil?
oh,
What do I need to try besides caipirinha, of course?
w- w- yeah,
But it's not food.
yeah,
It's not food.
yeah.
But I have to hit a caipirinha when I'm in Brazil.
Carne de sol. It's called carne de sol. It's a big meat
Oh,
that they put some salt,
uh-huh.
and they keep this meat sometime just with that salt. I don't know exactly how long
Is that
time.
picanha?
So no, it can be picanha. It can be any kind of meat,
Okay,
but it used to be the soft ones, the soft meat.
okay.
So they put that salt. They just keep it in some place for some time, and then they just start to, I don't know how to say that, like when you make chicken breast,
Right.
just fry it. It's just great, man. The taste is really awesome. For me, it's the best. The first one thing about food that I really like it from. It's specifically from Brazil,
I'm gonna have to try.
and I yeah, it's carne de sol. It's the name in Brazil. Talking in Portuguese, carne de sol. I don't know if it has a name for in English. Some English name.
Oh, well, I'll figure it out. Don't worry about that. Obviously, I'm good at.
Yeah, but anytime you come, you give me a call.
I will. I will for sure. And, that's we. I told you that I was going to visit you one of the some point. I want to see if there is some kind of competition where Daniela is going to be right there. And man, I'll give you a call. We'll have a great time. Just
Yeah, we
like
tried that the national championship, but that didn't work because Brazilian Federation does not allow foreign to compete anymore in
there
the
is
national championship.
always a next time. It's going to be great.
Yeah,
No,
that's it.
we're going to have as much fun as when you were in Minnesota with us. Basically, that time that was fun. We had a good time.
Yeah, I have something for you. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, that was your trophy. That was you won. Yeah,
Yeah, look.
good, very good. There we go. That
2008. It was the same year that I jumped to 32.
That's right. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah, and that technical tips you gave me in that meeting helped me a lot.
makes me happy. Yeah, I know we work a lot on your
Yeah,
approach, so I'm glad it helped you.
yeah. You remember that curve stuff you told me about the lean, how I was running that time?
Yes, yes,
So that helped a lot because I was thinking about that all the time and tried to improve that in the trainings until the Olympics. So it was a really nice tip. It was, a great instruction, technical instruction that helping me to improve my jump that year. And I had made that my PB
right. You
that
jumped
year.
32 right after that. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's one curiosity. That time when I jumped to 32, uh, 2 days before, I jumped to 31, and it was my PB too because I had 230. Then I went to Padova. I jumped to 31. It was my PB, and 2 days later, 232. It was like two PB in 2 days.
So you jumped to 31 where?
Padova, Italy.
Italy.
In Italy, yes, in Padova.
And then where do you jump to 32?
Lausanne,
Lausanne.
Switzerland.
Yeah.
Lausanne, Switzerland.
Well,
Yeah.
man, that makes me very happy that I just to be honest with you, at the end of the day, as a high jumper and as a friend, I'm just happy that the advice helped you and you were able to improve. I mean, that's pretty much it. Other than that, I was just basically cheering for you all the way from Minnesota. You are my friend.
Oh, thank
You are
you.
my friend, and I wanted to see you do well. That's it. No, nothing more, nothing less.
Yes. Friends and jumpers forever. That's the deal.
All the way.
that's that's the best thing we can take from life.
Yes.
That's it's all about experience. It's about what you do in life, how we deal with others, how we help the others. It's about to just living in a great way and improve ourselves every day,
That's right.
trying to do the best.
That's absolutely. You are
Yeah.
absolutely right. You're right. Is what I found is at the end of the day, we competed at a world class level. We ended up pushing forward. Time passes, and the best things that the sport left me are the friendships and the memories that
Yeah.
we had through the sport. But it's, I mean, as time passes, we really don't talk about how high we used to jump or stuff like that. We actually talk about
Yeah.
the nice moments that we had country or experiences, in the experience as people together that went beyond the sport,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
It's like when you go to some high jump meetings in Germany, and after the meeting, you already have that beer place
Yeah.
when people after the meeting go there to drink some beer and keep talking until late in the evening.
Yes.
So it's about experience.
It
It's
is.
about experience.
It is.
Yeah.
Jesse, man, you know what? It brought me some nice memories, with the time that we were in Minnesota and, and we were working a little bit together there, that you were jumping at the festival. Um, Thank you very much for the interview, bro. I mean, you know what? I just, honestly, I'm very happy to see you, to know that you are doing well. You are basically went into a different stage of your life. Now you are basically you are. I think that you are in computers, right? You are in the computer industry. Uh,
Yes, yes. And drug development, mobile development.
you are the mobile developer. Uh, it makes me happy to see you do well, man. I mean, you know what? You seem happy. I'm very happy for you. Excited to see what the future basically. What I think that you are somebody that has been formed to, in a very methodical way, have done some great things through the high jump. That I can see that you carry the essence of of pushing forward through life, which is much more important than anything else. I'm proud of you for
Yeah,
that.
that's a really good point, because if you ask me, okay, what do you believe athlete has really related with IT life? It's almost everything, because the way we deal with problem every day, the way we have to learn every day, we have some frustration. We try to do something and you have some mistake and then try again, and you just keep learning. It's a really good point, because I apply my soft skills, high jumping skills every day in my work, every day, every day. And sometimes people ask, "Oh, who is this guy? Oh, he was an athlete." Yes, and my skills I apply there. I will not jump in IT, but the way we behave, the way we deal with problem, the emotional intelligence we have from high jumping is just outstanding.
Right.
We can deal with any situation, and you don't freeze. We don't freeze.
Right.
We,
You
we
keep it
just
together.
deal with it. Yes, exactly. So it's now I work for IBM, man. You know, so I was athlete. Now I work for IBM. It's just it's a game changer. But how did I do that? I can tell you, sport was the base I have now, and how I work every day. You know, and just one small message for you guys, if you still have time. It's there's a very important thing that I learned in life, that you have to leave your comfort zone. If you are listening right now, and if you want to listen something important to you, I can tell you it was leave my comfort zone. Every time I left that comfort zone, I'm here, I'm okay, I'm fine, things are just going great. I didn't made great change in my life. It's like when I went to São Paulo, I didn't have much money. I just bought the tickets, and I went to São Paulo with almost no money to live in some other place. And I didn't have a club that time, and that just changed my life, because it was like my first bridge, about to see the world and have more opportunity for competitions, to study, and to get to know many people. So this is the most important thing that I can tell you. If you want to do something great in your life, you're gonna leave your comfort zone. You cannot just stay stopped where you are and think that you cannot do better. We can always do better. We can always keep it pushing and moving forward. It's all about, you don't have to just lay down and okay, it's done. No, just keep moving forward. That's the life. That's the most important thing you can do. When I changed from athletic career to IT career, it was really hard, of course, because I went to university again and I started to study many new things again. And I was, just I had no right time to study. I could study anytime. Sometimes I was studying Saturday night, Sunday night, or throughout the day. And there was not a wrong moment for me, because I knew that I need to study very hard to create opportunities, to have better opportunities in the IT market. I remember that when it was Christmas, uh, 2018, many people was traveling to some place, to see families, blah blah blah. And I remember that I was studying, I was coding to make a test to IBM hiring process. So, and I was thinking, okay, man, what I'm doing, everybody is just like vacation, doing anything, just spending some time with their family. And I was coding, but that coding brought me here. to the place I am now. I landed into a better job, in a good job. So it just was like the first great step of my career in IT area. So if you want to do something great, just leave your comfort zone. Don't have afraid to try. You have to try. You have to push forward. You have to create your own strategy. You have to analyze what you're doing, what you need to do to get where you want to be.
And you're right. A part of life is about it is about being uncomfortable. So you wanna if you're trying to grow, you are always going to feel uncomfortable. So
Yeah.
you might as well embrace it. And you're right. You're 100% right. Hey, I respect that a lot from you, man. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thanks a lot.
I
Thanks
respect
a
it
lot.
and I admire that basically you have that fighting spirit, which you know what it makes sense why you did the great things that you did as a jumper. It's just you have that mindset and you carry it over to bigger and better things in life now with your IT career. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, yeah. And when I got into IT, I was 35. Most people around used to say, "Oh, 35 is too old." I hear people say that 30 years. Oh, you have 30. No, you are gone, man. Don't go to IT. It's too late. Yeah, yeah. I heard a lot. Some people say this kind of things. So I was 35 when I was start. I went to university again because I almost complete a graduation for physical therapy in 2003, but I just left. I didn't want to work with that anymore, so I decided that okay, I'm going to be aircraft pilot or IT career. So I just shifted to IT career, and some people thought, okay, it's 35 years old. What this guy's gonna do? I'm going to IT. I'm going to programming. I'm going to write code for mobile application, web application, whatever. I'm gonna write code because the most important thing that I felt about the write code is the power of creation. It is power of creation that we have in our hand writing the code. It's it changed people's lives. It changed the way business runs. It changed the way people interact with each other. Look at me, look at you. We are talking now about a mobile application. We are talking through a mobile application. So it's changed the way we interact with each other as human. So this ability, this power of creation, it's just the most important thing about the IT that I really like.
Huh. Yeah, I understand a little bit of coding. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. I don't know what happened here.
Uh,
I was saying,
yeah, the
I was
camera
saying,
is.
I was saying hello to people, and then I don't know what happened.
Do you can see me? Can you see
I
me?
can see you now. Yeah, I can see you now. It was me. I was saying hello to people, and then basically I ended up switching. I don't know. My finger, my fingers are not as thin as they were before. Now, like I said, I need to lose weight,
It,
man.
it's so yeah, yeah, I can tell you that I am in the same situation.
You know what? As a high jumpers, we were very thin, and we were taking care of our diet when we were jumping.
Yeah,
Like
too much.
at the moment that we finished jumping, and I don't want to diet anymore. I just I want to enjoy.
Yeah, that's what I do now. I always think, okay, I need to eat great. I need to eat healthy food. It's fine. I can do it, but okay, I can. I like to eat junk food too, and I want to do it. It's too much time just eating small food, and you know the diet is very complicated to keep the weight because we cannot have 1 kilo, 2 kilos. It's your performance just go down.
It is a lot. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
For us, it's a lot.
Beer, drink beers.
Yeah, that's rough, man. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah. Hey, Jesse, you have been very graceful with your time. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you for being with us. Uh, you know what? You are still the champion that you always were. Uh, so don't you
nice
ever,
to hear that.
don't you ever change. Okay. It is always a pleasure
Great.
to talk to you, to hear from you. And now, basically, I mean, we were talking before, outside of this Instagram live thing. Uh, but now, basically, that for people to get to know you and to see not the Jesse Lima that used to high jump, but the true Jesse Lima, the guy that
Yeah,
basically, the kind of person that you are. And which to me, it is much greater than the high jumper.
great. It's really nice to hear that, and I really
Okay, brother.
appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you a lot for having me.
Thank you, brother. Okay. Hey, and we'll keep talking. We'll keep talking away from
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Thank you for being with us, and I'm sure there will be another opportunity where we're gonna be doing this, but not through Instagram. It's gonna be me in Brazil with you having lunch or dinner, or you here going doing. I prepare a good Brazilian steak in my house. I'm good at doing
Yeah,
a picanha.
I know your barbecue is great. I
Hey,
remember that. I know it's a great one.
hey, that, my house is always open for you.
Okay, the same. I can tell you the same. I really appreciate and
Thank you,
see
Jesse.
you.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you. Bye
Thank you
bye.
for everything. Bye
Bye
bye,
bye. You
brother.
too, Hugo.
Bye, brother.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.